Welcome to SEC Tournament Reaction with Chris Muller. We're also going to do a preview today, so stick around for that when we get to it. But Ole Miss, I think 5-4 loser to Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt won again in the SEC tournament on a walk off. This is quietly turning into just a fantastic rivalry among a ton of rivalries in SEC baseball. How you doing, Chris?
Doing great. Obviously, late night last night. Little baseball after midnight for the Rebs and the Commodores. So, really fun to watch, though. Really interesting game. Really enjoyed it. Really up until the end. The ending wasn't so great for us, but it was a really good baseball game. Obviously, there are a lot of Rebels that are a little groggy this morning, myself included. So I'll jump right into kind of my thoughts. Tim Elko just continues to absolutely crush the ball and really, I'm not going to say surprise people because he was doing that before his ACL tear, but to come back from that injury and really just continue to power the ball and provide that offensive spark. And it's not only an offensive spark for me, but it's really a psychological spark from the standpoint of here's a guy that's putting in the work, that's getting out there, that's doing the rehab that's necessary to perform at this high level. And so it's really motivating the rest of the dugout to say, hey, if this guy's doing the work, then and he's got a torn ACL, then I can absolutely do the work. So Elko accounted for all. If you didn't watch it, Elko accounted for all four of the Ole Miss RBIs last night, both via the home run. He also contributed a single, and I just love to see Elko get singles because it's kind of funny that he hardly can even run around the bases, but
Yeah.
he's able to. I'm not gonna say leg it out because he's not legging a single out in the infield or anything else like that. But to see him put the ball in play and be able to get on base, and then Mike have the confidence in him to run the bases is really cool.
Yeah, and another big factor from last night's game is I believe Kevin Graham extended his streak to like 50 games. Some ludicrous number is kind of good to see.
Yeah, just a model of consistency in Graham. And I'm one of those that was pretty loud on Monday that said that there was a little bit of a highway robbery that occurred when the SEC announced their all tournament, or excuse me, all conference teams, and Kevin Graham was not among those mentioned. He's really gonna go far in baseball if that's what he desires from a consistency standpoint. You really can't ask much more from a guy than to continue to get on base. He's got a seems like a similar mindset to Jake Gonzalez, which we talked about yesterday, which is just get on base and good things will happen.
Yeah, they do a fantastic job. We're going to switch from the batting order a little bit to the pitching staff. Derek Diamond had a heck of a night last night, and it could be a nice momentum move going into the regional.
He did, and one of the comments from Coach Bianco as well as Tim Elko in post game was that it was one of the best performances that they had seen from Diamond in quite a number of outings. So I was really happy about that for Derek as well as for the team. Derek went 8+ innings. Pitch count got a little up there. They wanted with the short rest. I think they wanted to keep him under 100 pitches, so that factored into it. But really, he got into a couple jams, but was able to wiggle his way out of those jams. So really, really a solid all-around performance for Derek. One that we should have gotten a win from.
Yeah, and it's also good that in his first postseason performance, he put that in. So he might be someone that when the lights get brighter, he shines a little bit more. So it should be interesting to watch moving on. Jack Doherty had a good game though last night.
Jack had a really good game. Was really happy with his performance. Extended a little bit out, a little bit, probably a little bit further than we really would have liked to have seen Jack done. But Broadway was not available. Obviously, Broadway pitched a significant number of pitches from his perspective on Tuesday night. Hard to keep the day straight in the SEC tournament, but it was Tuesday evening. And then, Jack just kind of faced the top of the Vanderbilt batting order. And when you look at that, you've got Bradfield, and then you've got three guys that have hit double-digit home runs. So that top of the Vanderbilt batting order is just really so tough. Doherty was obviously tagged with the loss, but it's a learning lesson. And Diamond and Doherty all young men that haven't seen postseason action. So to get them some taste of what postseason action is, obviously against a quality opponent in Vanderbilt, I think really is going to prove dividends as we move forward through the postseason.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a good baseball game. It was a tough loss. Ole Miss moves on into the losers bracket today to face the Georgia Bulldogs. Tell us a little bit about that game.
Yeah, we've got the second game of the day, so it'll be around 1 o'clock Central Time. Facing Georgia, obviously we're very familiar with Georgia, just having been in Athens last weekend. Ole Miss will throw Drew McDaniel. McDaniel is 4-1 with his lone loss coming on Saturday last week. Again, hard to keep the day straight when we're going from Thursday to Saturday and Friday to Sunday. But he did pitch the last game of the series last week. Here he's a 5.76 ERA, 54.2 innings pitched, with just over a strikeout per inning pitched. Georgia will go with Liam Sullivan. Sullivan's the freshman that we faced Friday night last week. He went 5 1/3, allowing just a run on 3 hits and struck out 6. All of his SEC starts have been against really top quality opponents in Arkansas, Ole Miss, and Florida. So, he's obviously got the stuff, and obviously Coach Strickland really trusts him with the ball in this high pressure situation. From a hitting perspective, Georgia only has 2 regular hitters that are over 300. They're not particularly fast with only 21 stolen bases. It's really interesting when I looked at the stolen bases and I thought of Bradfield from Vanderbilt, who's got 41 stolen bases or 42 stolen bases, whatever the gaudy number is himself. And then I look at Georgia as a team and they only have 21. I'm like, wow, that kid really is super fast for Georgia. So Connor Tate does lead the Bulldogs, their right fielder, with 10 home runs.
All right, and off script a little bit. What are you looking for in this elimination game? Win or lose, what do you want to see in this game?
I just want to see the fight in the guys. I want to see the guys kind of get off the mat and really go out there and compete really well. I do think we have the talent ability to beat Georgia. I think baseball's a game of inches, and we saw it again last night when on the second Elko home run, where the Vanderbilt outfielder goes up and almost robs the home run ball from Elko, but is about 3 inches away from catching that ball. And, baseball's just that kind of game where it's a game of, we talk about football being a game of inches, but really baseball is much in that same mindset of just these itty bitty things that come through in the course of a game make a huge difference. Also, in an elimination game, the strategy changes a little bit, I think. It's a pull no punches situation. There is, quote, no tomorrow in the tournament if you lose. So really, if a guy's not effective after 2 batters, really even 1 batter, if you're seeing he's not being effective, coach will go get him at that point in time. I do think we have a lot of arms left in the bullpen. We haven't seen Wes Burton. We haven't seen Tyler Myers. Haven't seen a number of people this week that are definitely candidates for us to see. So look for a short leash on all the pitchers.
Yeah, and Vandy and Arkansas, the loser awaits the game if Ole Miss can win this one. So it doesn't get any easier. And Georgia is very familiar, and they're pitching a Friday night guy against us, so it's going to be interesting to see. Now, is there anybody that we could – and who do we need to run Austin Miller out there, give him work, and hope that he can turn it around?
That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that question. They talked a little bit about Austin Miller on Super Talk Mississippi on Monday night. Probably run him out there for a couple batters and see what happens. But, Austin's had a tough run. He did have a really good outing at Texas A&M, if I remember. It was one of his more extended outings. So he obviously has it in him. It's just a matter of now whether he can put the pieces together.
All right, and this pitcher for Georgia, refresh my memory. Is he a soft toss lefty? Is he a hard throwing lefty? Is he a righty? What's going on there?
I believe he's a righty. I don't know. Putting notes together at 1:30 in the morning is pretty tough. So I believe he's a righty. I think he does come with a little bit of a pretty significant fastball, but and the information on Georgia's website wasn't readily available either.
Yeah, yeah. That's one thing that I'm impressed with this team is velocity doesn't really affect them. So if somebody's a hard throwing pitcher, there's a good chance this offense is going to tee off. The one kryptonite that I saw from Georgia that honestly scares the death out of me is the soft tossing lefty that they just started running one after another on Ole Miss during the series.
Yeah, to your point about hard throwing people not scaring us, if you remember, we touched up Kubar Rocker on Friday night in the Vanderbilt series for 2 home runs, which proved to be the difference. So our guys are not afraid to swing the bat against a guy that throws really hard.
All right. Chris Muller coming in for a little bit of reaction from last night, a little bit of preview of tonight. We're having a good time here. This has been, I don't know, the preview reaction show. We're having a good time. I'm Stephen Willis. He's Chris Muller. And tune in after the game for us to break it all down for you. Hotty toddy.
Hotty toddy.